and welcome to the positive side of the bad stuff. I'm Leslie Pogue, your host, and thank you again for joining me today. Today's influential and significant topic, I didn't really name it, but I'll share an experience I had with you. I was having my mother-daughter day, my monthly mother-daughter day with my mom yesterday, and we go to the mall out in Thousand Oaks. And while we were waiting, sitting outside having our tea and our talk and our breakfast, there was a lady that was waiting to go into Penny's to have her hair colored. And now my mom's hair is all gray and it's long. We're both rocking the gray. And the lady shared with my mom that she's going in to have her hair dyed gray like her. She was all excited. It's gonna look just like yours. It's so pretty. And we both kind of looked at each other like, why do people do this? One of the things that I get this a lot too, people think that I've colored my hair gray intentionally. But here's the thing. Gray hair is a sign of wisdom. It's not something that should be a fashion statement. I understand that, and she shared with me too. It's so funny. My mom told me what Rihanna's doing. How about that? How cool is my mom? She said that Rihanna wore this gray ponytail, and now people are really big on getting their hair colored gray. But I shared with her that I've been listening to people talk about getting their hair dyed gray for years now. I think that it's very important, especially as women, that we find our own identity. Now, there's nothing wrong with fashion statements and having fun and going on and doing these things, but dye, even though it comes out, it's chemicals, and it's something that's changing your look for you. Wigs are fun, and these are things that you can do and have fun with the different colors and stuff, but I think it's very, very important that we don't, especially as women, and when we find our voice, find ourself, our truest self, we stay true to that and don't jump on the latest fashion bandwagon. Now, of course, there's exceptions to every rule. If fashion is your business, then it is important that you stay on top of the game with that. But even in that genre, there are ways to be current and relevant and still stay true to you. Find your own voice. Don't copy someone else's. I think that, or rather, let me rephrase that. My hope is that as women, especially, you find that strong voice within you. Stay true to that, whatever it is, and own it. My gray is natural. I earned every last one of these grays. I never lie about my age when people say that, oh, you're probably 21 again, and when I talk about my birthday, it's like, no. I'm very proud to have made it to 46 because everyone doesn't. Be proud of every day that you're gifted. Be proud of your truest self. Own your truest self. Identify and live in your truest self and move forward from that space. That is your influential and significant moment today. Stay tuned for our show dedicated to Black History Month.
African Americans were being recognized for their intellect and significant contributions to American culture through the Harlem Renaissance. This served as the springboard for actors, musicians, poets, artists, and writers of fiction. Sociologists, historians, and activists started organizations such as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, and the National Urban League.
Welcome back. Today, we are honoring Black History Month, and I want our topic to really focus on change, but as a way to demonstrate that, I want to talk a little bit about the Harlem Renaissance. My favorite time periods fall right around the 1920s through about 1940s. And you all may have heard me talk about how much I love the old-time classic organized crime gangsters of the 1920s. Well, I also really enjoy the growth and changes that happened not only in the world, but to us as people. as we again came into our own and found our own voice, we created a style that I think still lives on today. One of the things that really hurts my heart, especially when it comes to Black history, is Black people that go in search of a African name or what have you. And I really feel that Africans are Africans and they are true to their heritage. And I feel that Black Americans try so hard to find those roots and find a name and an identity when actually your identity is right here. You were born here. I was having lunch with a lady the other day, and she's actually Indian. She was born in Africa and she was naturalized. So she, in fact, is an African American, whereas I am an American. And I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack about that because I know how proud my folks are. And you know what? That's okay. Because again, I live in my truth and I speak what I speak. So, I do what I do. I want us to understand that you don't have to create an identity or even take an identity from another culture to create one of your own. Black Americans have an amazing history, and during the Harlem Renaissance, we didn't take anything from anybody else. We created our own. We had the most amazing authors in Langston Hughes and W.E.B. Du Bois, and we created stride piano playing music, and that gave flavor to jazz, and we own that. That's not from Africa. That's not from Spain. It's not from Portugal. It's right here in Harlem, in America. And we did that as people. And I would love to see us start to embrace the changes and the strides that we've made as people, as Americans in this country. We've built this country. We have, and we need to own that. And wearing a kente cloth or giving ourselves an African name doesn't give us a lineage. Our lineage is what it is. And some of us don't go back to Africa, although I think most of us do. But there are Black Spaniards. Yeah, surprise! There's Black Spanish people. I know. So today, in honor of the last Monday in Black History Month, on the positive side of the bad stuff, I don't want to talk about slavery. I don't want to talk about the trials and tribulations that we as a people have had to overcome to make it through. I want to talk about the amazing beings that we are. The strength that is embedded in us just as a people because of our lineage and because of where we come from. We understand what it is to work for something, to turn nothing into something. We understand what it is to love and to feel pain and still rise above no matter what. We understand a work ethic. We understand what it is to go after the American dream and really work for it. We understand what that means. So today, as I talk about change and how we can change into who we want to be, who we want to get to our truest self, think about the Harlem Renaissance. I'm going to share a couple of facts with you.
The Harlem Renaissance grew out of the changes that had taken place in the Black community since the abolition of slavery and as expansion was moving communities to the north. Industrialization was attracting people to cities from rural areas and gave rise to a new mass culture. The Great Migration concentrated ambitious people in places where they could encourage each other, and the First World War, which had created new industrial work opportunities for tens of thousands of people. Stephanie St. Clair, also known as Queenie, was a numbers runner in Harlem during this time and was mentor to the likes of Bumpy Johnson, who ruled Harlem in his day. The Harlem stride style of playing piano appeared during this time as well, with the insertion of the piano into jazz, which was considered an instrument of the wealthy. Affluent blacks now had more access to jazz music. Some of its founding musicians were Fats Waller, Duke Ellington, and Jelly Roll Morton, to name a few. 28 Days to Happy is a daily guide to walk you through acknowledging and accepting the truth about what's really going on in your world, to forgive yourself and others for the wrongs you feel have been done to you, and ultimately to identify and celebrate the happiness that is always there no matter what comes your way. The positive side of the bad stuff is a handy companion when you need a pick-me-up. It's a collection of blogs that speak primarily to personal soft skills that we all manage every day. From joy to grief, from who cares to self-care. It will give you a guide to make sense of the things in your life and find your positive side of the bad stuff. Both books are available now at Amazon.com and my website at www.softskillsdirect.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope today's topic has lit a fire under you, and I hope you are inspired to just be you. Just be your truest self. Don't seek another identity. Don't try and claim something that doesn't belong to you. Just dig deep. Go deep inside and find out who you are, who you represent, what you represent, and be true to that. With that, I say tweet me, Facebook me, definitely subscribe to the positive side of the bad stuff so you can catch every episode every week, and go be do.